The dead keep on rising. Zombies and the dead have an interesting history coming to the big screen. They were not so popular until George Romero invented the modern zombie horror genre. There are only a few horror movie subgenres that found a big following as the zombie films, with many good and bad films out there. Here is a top 10 list of the best modern Living Dead themed films. Number 10. World War Z. World War Z is an American apocalyptic action horror film. The movie is based on the 2006 novel of the same name. The film stars Brad Pitt as the lead role, a former United Nations investigator who must travel the world to find a way to stop a zombie pandemic. Brad Pitt portrays Jerry Lane, where he and his family get stuck in urban gridlock. He senses that it's no ordinary traffic jam. His suspicions are confirmed when, suddenly, the city erupts into chaos. A lethal virus, spread through a single bite, is turning healthy people into something vicious, unthinking and feral. As the pandemic threatens to consume humanity, Jerry leads a worldwide search to find the source of the infection and, with luck, a way to halt its spread. World War Z zombies are really fast undead creatures with a pack mentality. They form groups that will chase a single target on sight to infect them. Their behavior is heavily based on animal behavior. Number 9. The Girl with All the Gifts. The Girl with All the Gifts is a British post-apocalyptic science fiction horror film. It is based on the 2014 novel of the same name. A scientist and a teacher living in a dystopian future embark on a journey of survival with a special young girl named Melanie. One of several children immune to a mutated fungal disease that has eradicated free will and turned the rest of humanity into cannibalistic zombies. A gifted young girl escapes the safety of a special school and helps guide mankind's survival. The Girl with All the Gifts generally received positive reviews from critics, describing it as tense and an intriguing experience. Number 8. Diary of the Dead. Diary of the Dead is an American found-footage horror film. It is written and directed by George A. Romero. Diary of the Dead is the fifth film in Romero's Night of the Living Dead series of zombie films. It is not a direct sequel to previous films in the series, but occurs within the same universe of the original trilogy according to Romero. The dead are returning to life to feast on the flesh of the living. As civilization dissolves in this nightmare scenario, a group of college students travel across Pennsylvania in hopes of finding refuge at their friend's secluded mansion. Film student Jason tapes their journey, and the movie is presented as his footage. George Romero won a 2008 Critics Award for Diary of the Dead. Number 7. 28 Weeks Later. 28 Weeks Later is a British zombie-themed horror film serving as a sequel to the 2002 film 28 Days Later. This time the story starts 28 weeks later after the events of the first film, depicting the efforts of NATO military forces to salvage a safe zone in London, the consequence of two young siblings breaking protocol to find their infected mother, and the resulting reintroduction of the rage virus to the safe zone. The film generally received positive reviews from critics and is considered a good sequel to the first movie. The movie is very exciting and well directed. It provides more than enough action and gore, satisfying all fans of the zombie-themed genre. Number 6. Dead Set. While Dead Set is not specifically a movie but a mini-series consisting of 5 episodes, it has been released as a movie with a running time of 142 minutes. It sure deserves to be on this list because it is one of the best zombie-themed film portrayals on TV. The show takes place primarily on the set of a fictional series of the real television show Big Brother. The 5 episodes, aired over 5 consecutive nights, chronicle a zombie outbreak that strands the housemates and production staff inside the Big Brother house, which quickly becomes a shelter from the undead. The contestants are unaware of what's happening outside, soon turning the house into a safe haven. Then the doors open on eviction night and all hell breaks loose. Number 5. Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead is a horror comedy film. Shaun is a 30-something loser with a dull and boring life. When he's not working at the electronics store, he lives with his best friend, Ed, in a small flat on the outskirts of London. The only unpredictable element in his life is his girlfriend, Liz, who wishes desperately for Shaun to grow up and be a man. When the town is inexplicably overrun with zombies, Shaun must rise to the occasion and protect both Liz and his mother. The film was a critical and commercial success. Even horror novelist Stephen King described the film as a 10 on the fun meter, and it is destined to be a cult classic. Shaun of the Dead cleverly balances scares and witty satire, making for a bloody good zombie movie with loads of wit. Number 4. Zombieland. Zombieland is an American post-apocalyptic horror zombie comedy film. After a virus turns most people into zombies, the world's surviving humans remain locked in an ongoing battle against the hungry undead. The film follows a geeky college kid making his way through the zombie apocalypse, meeting 3 strangers along the way and together taking an extended road trip across the southwestern United States in an attempt to find a sanctuary free from zombies. The main character has a list of rules that he comes up with for surviving in the zombie-infested world. By the end of the film, his list has 33 rules that will help you survive the zombie apocalypse. The film is very funny, and sometimes thrilling and full of neat little touches that makes it rewatchable. Number 3. Dawn of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead is an American action horror film. The movie is a remake of George Romero's 1978 zombie film Dawn of the Dead. The main story starts with Anna as her husband is being attacked by an infected neighbor and turns into a living dead himself. Anna manages to escape, only realize her entire neighborhood has been overrun by the Walking Dead. Soon after, the main characters find themselves in a local shopping mall which serves as a bastion of safety. The group bands together to fight the undead hordes. While there is still discussion with valid points concerning the best version of Dawn of the Dead, both movies will entertain any person that has interest in the Living Dead themed movies. Number 2. 28 Days Later. 28 Days Later is a British post-apocalyptic horror film. The film depicts the breakdown of society following the accidental release of a highly contagious virus and focuses upon the struggle of 4 survivors. A highly contagious, rage-inducing virus is unleashed in Great Britain after a group of animal liberation activists attempt to free chimpanzees infected with the virus in Cambridge, spreading quickly among the populace and resulting in societal collapse. 28 days after the initial outbreak, we see the main character awake from a coma, not knowing the catastrophe that has happened. Some might say it is similar to the start of the TV show The Walking Dead. 28 Days Later was successful both commercially and critically and has all the concepts of a great zombie-themed movie. Number 1. Train to Busan. Train to Busan is a South Korean zombie apocalypse action thriller film. The film mostly takes place on a train to Busan, South Korea's second most populous city. As a zombie apocalypse suddenly breaks out in the country and compromises the safety of the passengers. In this fast-paced zombie-themed thriller, a group of passengers need to fight their way through a viral outbreak while being trapped inside the train. The main character and his daughter catch a train to Busan to see her mother, unaware of the outbreak consuming the nation. A person on the train has been recently infected, creating chaos across the carriages as the living dead turn this train into a nightmare for the passengers. The story follows a father, daughter and a small group fighting for survival. Train to Busan delivers a thrillingly unique and purely entertaining take on the zombie genre.